All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to today's webinar presented by IDX Broker. My name is Brian Peterson, and I'm going to be walking through our application with you guys, as well as different web builders. We're going to be making some widgets and then some save links, and I'm just going to show you how to integrate this into your website. I have Matt Reynolds here with me today as well. He's going to be fielding all of your questions, so feel free to pop them in as we go through the webinar. We'll also be posting some KB articles, which are basically just walkthroughs for the content that we're covering. So if you missed something, you can check the chat, and he'll post some links to some further information. And let's go ahead and get started. So yeah, thanks for joining us today. If you want to post in the questions, just want to see where everybody is at. We got customers from all over the US, so if you want to give a shout out to where you're from, that would be awesome. It's like we got some people from Colorado, Montana, California, New York, Florida, Texas. So we got people coming from all across the US. That is awesome. That's exciting. So here's our table of contents. This is where we're going to go over the highlights for today. So we're just going to be building some widgets in the IDX platform. Then we're going to be inserting widgets into the various web builders. So we're covering Wix, Squarespace, and WordPress. Then we're going to be building a save link and then creating menu items within these web builders. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to get logged into my application here. This is what your dashboard looks like. This is what happens when you log into our application at middleware.idxbroker.com. And the first spot we're going to go to is to create a widget. So under the tab Design, you have Website, then you have Widgets. And so if you've never created a widget before, these are the pre-built widgets that come with your account. There's different kinds of widgets that are already made. You'll notice that these two right here are labeled Featured Showcase and Featured Slideshow. These are referencing listings by which the agent tied to the account is the primary or co-listed agent to the property. So if you don't have any listings as an agent, these won't work for you. And we're not really going to focus on that today. We're going to be building widgets based on a custom search. So in order to do that, we're going to come over here to the right side and we're going to select Create New. And so in this first dropdown, it gives you a variety of different options. And these first three are generally the same. They're just different types of widgets that display properties. And there's other ones such as Quick Search, Map Search, as well as being able to capture some leads. So the first one we're going to build is a Showcase widget. The properties that we want to feature are going to come from this custom search. And again, there's different options that you can play with depending on what you're trying to do. But today we're going to focus on custom search. And in this next dropdown, I'm going to go ahead and select Advanced Search. And again, there's different options for what you can select. So this Advanced Search option is going to look very similar to your Advanced Search page, which is a page template. So when you select Advanced Search, you're going to get a variety of different parameters to set up your search. So the first thing I'm going to select is the market area. So if you're somebody that has multiple MLSs on your account and you want to specify for one particular MLS, so in this instance, I'm going to select Northern Nevada Regional MLS. And for the property type, I'm just going to stick for residential. The purpose of creating this widget is we're going to capture a certain area which is high value homes, just for this example. So in this area, I'm going to go ahead and search for Incline Village. And I'm going to adjust the price range. These are some pretty high value homes. So we're going to go a minimum of 1.5 million. And the end range, I'm going to go ahead and say 6 million. So that should give us a pretty narrow view of some homes. And so as I scroll down, I'm just going to name this widget. I'm just going to go ahead and name it Incline Village. And here you can set some other settings. This is the width or the number of listings. I'm going to go ahead and keep this standard. And I'm going to build this widget. And here, it'll populate the script code, basically the code you're going to copy into your website. So I'm going to go ahead and take this showcase and I'm going to drop it into a website. So I'm going to Control C and copy that. And I'm going to go start in Squarespace over here. And I'm going to go in and edit my site. And I've already created a page. It's called Widget. So I have some content already created here, and I have a title. It's called Properties. And so I want to click Edit first so I can edit the page. And then I'm going to add a block. And the block I'm going to use today is called an embed. So I'm going to click here, and it's going to put it right below Properties. And over here, you'll notice a Code button. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, and I'm going to push Control V, and I'm going to paste in the code that we got from the previous page. And I'm going to apply, and then I'm going to save it. And it's going to be a little weird, but you're going to want to select Preview and Safe Mode. So in order to see this, though, we're going to have to back out and refresh this. So I'm going to go back to the home page over here, and I'm going to re-edit the site. Come back to Pages, go to Widget, and here's that showcase widget that's now displaying on that web page. And so that is how you put a widget into a Squarespace site. I'm going to create another widget. I'm going to do a little different one this time. So I'm going to make, last time we made a showcase, I'm going to go ahead and make a carousel widget. And we're going to do custom search again. And we're going to select the advanced search. So I'm going to do a little bit of a different set of properties here. So I'm going to look for just regular residential properties in the Reno area. Oh, I forgot to select this. Again, I'm going to select the correct MLS. So looking for homes in Reno, Nevada. And I'm going to look for somewhere in the middle of the road. So let's say $300,000 for price. And a max of, let's just say 500,000. And let's say we're looking for a multifamily, like, more than 2 bedrooms. So we're going to select that. We'll just kind of keep it there. But you'll notice that there's other parameters for your MLS that you can select. You can narrow it down by maybe it's square feet. Maybe there's a specific area. Sometimes MLSs use the term neighborhood, or sometimes they use subdivision. So you can really tailor your widgets to specific areas, polling properties. If you're building a page for a certain community or a certain part of town, you're able to do that. For the area, I think I'm going to select a particular part of town. So let's go with the southwest and north part of Reno. There are a lot of values in this particular parameter, so it may take a minute to load. So let's go with southwest, and you can go Reno north. So I'm just going to call this one Reno. And so, as well as you can select a sorting order if you wanted to see, bedrooms by high to low or low to high. I'm just going to stick with the newest listings. So build widget. Now what you can also do is before you insert your script into your website, you can preview this widget. So I'm going to open this in a new tab. And so these are the properties, and this is the widget that we've just created. And so these are the residential homes in Reno that were based on that search parameter. So I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to select this code. And now we're going to take this code, and we're going to put it into a Wix site. So on my Wix site, I already made a page called Widget. And here, again, I have a photo and some text. I'm going to call this Reno. And then we're going to go ahead and drop in a block to put that code in. And in Wix, what we're going to use is called an embed code. So you're going to come down and select embed. And then we're going to come over and select HTML frame. And so we're going to drag this down in. And you'll probably have to expand this and play with it a little bit to make your widget fit. And so I'm going to select, again, enter code. Now this part is very important. The code will not work unless you are putting in the p tags. So this stands for paragraph. We want an opening tag and then a closing tag. And in between those tags, I'm going to paste in that code that we copied from the previous page. and I'm going to select apply. And you'll have to adjust the height. And that pretty much does it. That is how you put a widget into a Wix site. So now that we've made widgets for both Wix and Squarespace, I'm now going to go to WordPress. WordPress is going to be a little bit different because we have a plugin built in specifically for WordPress. The first thing you'll want to do is install the Impress plugin. And you can do so by going to plugins and searching for IDX Broker Impress. And I've already installed it here on mine, so I don't need to do this step. We do have documentation which describes how to download this plugin. And so you want to make sure that your API key is within the plugin as well. And that's all part of the documentation that we have. And so if you have the plugin installed and you refresh your plugin, because after you make a widget, you want to refresh so it pulls in that widget. So every time you make a new widget, you'll want to refresh your API. So now I'm going to go to the page where I want to put in the widget in WordPress. And I already have like a sample page created. And now I'm going to select Add IDX Shortcode. And then I'm going to select IDX Widgets. And then in the dropdown, I see the Reno one that I made. So I'm going to select that. And I'm going to select Insert Shortcode. So WordPress will generate a shortcode based on that widget that we created. So I'm going to select Update, and then going to open the page. And we'll see that the widget was placed here. And you'll notice that when I drop the widgets into the various platforms, sometimes additional CSS is necessary to make it bigger, or sometimes you have to create CSS to standardize the height of the photos of the listings. This is due to the images being loaded up to the MLS. There is not a standardization. Sometimes you'll need to set a hard parameter around the height of the photo. If you're having trouble with this, please feel free to reach out to the support team. That pretty much covers widgets. Now we're going to move on to save links. So I'm just going to start fresh. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and select this button, Create Link. And what a save link does is it enables us to create a URL which displays a search result of properties. That'll become more clear after I make these parameters. But I'm going to come down and I'm just going to stick with advanced search. There are many different types of save links you can make. You can make a polygon map. You can make a map search. Basically an area of a map that'll pull listings based on certain parameters that you set. But for today's purposes, we're just going to stick with advanced search. And I'm going to click next step. So I'm going to create something a little different this time. Again, I'm going to select the MLS here, and I'm going to stick with Northern Nevada Regional. Now, if you only have one MLS on your account, you will not have a dropdown. If you have multiple MLSs to your IDX broker account, there will be a dropdown. So I'm going to switch it up. So in property type, I'm going to come over here and select lots and lands. I'm going to make a save link that will display lots and land property in the area. So again, I'm going to change my low and high price. Let's stick with like 750,000. And let's go with a really high number again, like 6 million. And so I could select acres here, but there's actually on this one a more specific. So I'm going to go with 5 acres to 30 acres. And again, there's other parameters you can narrow down your search by. I'm going to select next step. I'm going to call this one land. You'll notice that it'll autofill the end of the URL. And also on save links, you have the ability to create a subheader section. So when you create a save link, there'll be a list of listings, a results page based on these parameters. And a subheader, the purpose of this is you can create text here that maybe it describes a certain community or describes lots and lands that we're searching for. And maybe you want to put in a photo that goes above those listings. So this is where you would do that. So I'm going to go back to save and manage links. And you'll notice that there's this link that I just created. And if you click on the eyeball icon over here, you'll be able to preview the link. So this is an example of the save link that I created. Yeah, and this is the Listing Pro template. And here are the results on the right and the map on the left. So this is your save link. The save link creates a URL, and you notice that I named it land. So that'll be the ending of the URL. So what would you do with this? Well, generally, you could take this URL and make it a menu item. That's one option. So that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to go ahead and copy this URL, and we're going to start again in Wix. And so I'm back in Wix, and we're going to create a new page. Here we go. So the plus button here on pages, we're going to select that and select add page. What you want to do is select site menu, come down here and select add link. That's what you want. So we're going to go ahead and select a web address. And so the web address from the previous page was that one we made a save link for with the ending of land. We're just going to call this one land. You notice now that it appeared here, and if I click here, it'll take us to the save link that we created. So that's how you add a menu item for save link in Wix. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to do it on Squarespace now. So in Squarespace, under main navigation, I'm going to click here on the plus button. I'm going to come down here and select link. I'm going to enter that link again. We're just going to call it land. And again, it takes us to the save link that we created. So now we're going to do the same thing in WordPress. So again, because I've created a save link, I'm going to want to refresh the API. So I'm going to come to Impress, Initial Setting, refresh the API. This pulls in all the new data that you just created over on the IDX side. And I'm going to come down to Appearance and Menus. In WordPress, if you want to add a save link, we're going to come down to IDX pages. They'll be saved here because we updated the API. I'm going to select land. I'm going to add it to the menu. I'm going to select save. I'm going to come over here to our website. I'm going to refresh it. And there's the land. So if I click here, it takes us to the save link. And so that covers adding a widget and a save link to your pages. Now let's say that you wanted to edit save link. You could always come over here on the save links under design, website, save links, and there's a button here to edit preferences. If you decided that, I didn't really like the price parameter that's being set, you can come back in here and change it and adjust it and update. You can do the same thing for all the widgets that we made. So design, website, widget. You could come back and edit. Let's say we wanted to edit the Reno one. We'd come in here and we could edit things. You'll notice on widgets, you have the ability to modify widget CSS. So this section is available if you feel inclined to edit CSS for the widget. You can still change the sort order and the column, as well as the search criteria. And so that covers what we were going to go over today. I'm going to now review some of the questions and see if there's anything I should bring up to the group. Matt's going to continue to answer the questions the best that he can. If you feel like you need more help than what we covered today, you're always more than welcome to give us a call at 1-800-421-9668. You can also give us an email at help@idxbroker.com. You can also chat from within your middleware account. In the bottom right-hand corner, you can start a chat within chat hours. And are there any more questions? Let me review the questions. There's quite a bit in here and see if there's something that I need to go over. There's a good question. It says, why would you use a widget versus a save link or vice versa? Is it for looks? A save link will have results that are generated for you within our template. So if you are on Platinum, the save link that you saw me create will come with our wrapper. So when we wrap your account, it wraps to your header and footer. It's a little difficult because I was using a wrapper and then several different sites. But back to the question, if you want to create a save link, it's going to use a template like this that has a bunch of listings and a map. The purpose of a widget is, let's say you're building a specific page and you wanted a header and maybe a sidebar and you wanted to create your own page. A widget's really good because you're able to just drop a widget into that page. You'll have limited flexibility with editing a save link because a save link, you can only add a subheader to it. Someone asked, how do I remove cities that can be searched on my search widget? We can cover that really quick. If you go to settings, here you can create location list. So if you're trying to limit cities that are searched within your search widget, you would have to create a location list based on the MLS. And then when you create your search widget, there'll be an option to select that custom list. Again, there is documentation out there for this, as well as anybody on our support team can help guide you through that if you're still having trouble with that. If you need a wrapper done, you're always welcome to hit up the support team. Sometimes we will ship accounts if a website hasn't been built yet. We'd be more than happy to help you out with your wrapper. Seems to be some more questions around a wrapper. So a wrapper is we take your website, so we take a page off your website, and we take the header and footer, and the content in between will be the IDX templates. So like map search, advanced search, a listings details. A wrapper enables you to display a search or a individual property while having your header and footer from your website. Someone asked about having multiple states. If you're a realtor that's in multiple MLSs or multiple states, we work with multiple MLSs in every state. We have over 60 available MLSs. So if you're looking for a particular one, I recommend just reaching out to our sales team so that you can figure out if we service your MLS. You are able to get multiple MLS searches into one search. And any of the rest of the questions that they didn't get to, we'll be reaching out to you. You can, again, always reach out to help@idxbroker.com. We're going to wrap up the webinar here. I hope this was super informative. And yeah, again, reach out to us if you have any questions. And thanks for stopping by. And I hope you have a good day.